Hello everybody, my name is iFixit. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be modifying a Nintendo Switch Pro controller to have a custom shell, buttons, and all that cool stuff. So as you can see, this is what we're starting out with, just a standard Nintendo Switch Pro controller, nothing too out of the ordinary there. This is the custom shell we're going to be putting on it, themed like the Animal Crossing limited edition Nintendo Switch. Super cool. And here are the buttons I'll be putting in it. They are eXtremeRate's mint green buttons. And finally, here are the tools I'll be using. A standard Phillips head screwdriver. I don't know if it'll focus on the point again or not. Just a standard smaller Phillips head screwdriver. A pair of tweezers, pliers, or whatever you can find. And finally, just a little pry tool. We'll just need that for the part there. And yeah. So without further ado, let's get this party started by taking the controller apart. So first things first, you have two screws in the grips, this side and this side. Just want to take them out right quick. So like these grips at the very bottom, once you have the screws out, you just pop them out, set the grips off the side, we won't need them anymore. Then on the back is where the next set of screws are. There's two over here on the right grip, two over here on the left grip. Now that we have all those screws out, this is where the pry tool comes in handy. This back cover is a pain to get off. Just get it in here under the triggers, just lift up. You'll be able to take it apart. So now we have the back shell off. Throw that off to the side. Now it's time to take the battery out. Set that off to the side. Now there's a lot of screws on this layer. There's one down here, two in here, one over here, and one more down here. Now we have that off, we can just get our fingers down in between here and lift apart, or at least try to. Did I miss a screw? No. Should be coming apart. This is my first time taking it apart, so it could just be like, you know, sealed. So anyways, now that I have all that up, we are in. So the first thing we want to do before we do anything else is get this ribbon cable out. There's a little flap down in here, you lift that up, just like that. Let's lift it up, and you can just take the ribbon cable out. There we go, we have the front and back. So now we'll start back here with the back shell. Well, actually, this part doesn't actually get swapped out. So, never mind. So basically, all we need to do back here, pop these sticks out. This is going to be the first button swap. We have these two mint green ones here. I also accidentally bumped the camera stand, so sorry about that. We just want to push these down on. Doesn't feel quite right. I mean, they look the exact same as the Switch ones. I don't see why there would be any issue. Okay, the Switch ones feel the same way when you're moving around inside. So once I have the top on, it should go back to feeling normal. Yeah, those feel really nice. Alright, so now I can set that off to the side for now. Now it's time to move on to this part. So, next set of screws we have to do are here, here, and here. So we take those off. And the hardest part is swapping the triggers, in my opinion. That part is why we need the tweezers, because there's a metal bar supporting the supporting ZL and ZR that make them pretty hard to get out, especially without cutting the ribbon cable. And I did that once before. Wasn't recording that one, and it wasn't even a first party controller. Anyway, before I continue the story, there's another ribbon cable here you just need to pop out. And then that just pops right off. I also broke the clip on that, so I just need to be careful with the controller from now on. Alright, now I can pop all the buttons and stuff out. There's the original shell, we won't need that anymore. Let's bring in the custom shell and start putting stuff in. So now, put the custom buttons in. It's time to mess with the triggers. This is going to be the worst part. So in here you have these two little sticks here that's holding those down. I'm not going to worry about those yet. We're going to do L and R first. They are just long little sticks here. You just pop it into that, and they have this little notch here, so you have to pull them out and then push them in so that it actually goes into that hole. And that worked perfectly. And same with R. You could also pop that in first and then pop it down in. That worked the exact same. But it's very important that you're very careful when taking out the metal rod holding the things on, because the ribbon cable is right underneath the rod, So if you're not careful, you might grab the ribbon cable too and then pull it. And it should just keep going and keep going until it falls out. There we go, that's one side out. And you just kind of lift the trigger out, put the new one in, and it just kind of rests there. Now I recommend using the tweezers again to put the metal rod back in, just because it'll help your accuracy. Not that that really helps with much. Yeah, you need to make sure that both sides are lined up properly, so that the rod actually goes in the hallway. Once it's in the hallway, it should be about to the edge of this little S formation here, so it comes out, up, and out. It should be about at the edge there. That worked perfectly. So now it's on to the other side. And there we go. So now it's ready to go back onto the controller. So this side goes face down. And we have this one screw off to the side. Goes in right here. And I dropped it. Where did that screw go?
5 minutes later.
Alright. Okay, well, I've been searching for about 3 minutes and I can't find that screw, so I'm just going to consider it a lost cause. It's technically not even needed, so it's not a huge deal, especially since this screw right here goes straight through, as well as this one, so they'll hold everything in place, which will be fine as long as I just don't drop any of the other screws for the motherboard. Everything will be a-okay. And there we go. Everything feels right. Start feels a little sunken in. Probably because it's not being held down properly by the top. Because you have 1, 2, 3, so there's nothing holding this down. I'm just gonna put the ribbon cable in and call it a day. Honestly not sure if that's the whole way in or not. So I might just hook this up, put the battery in quick and test it just to be sure. But anyway, yeah, getting this this big ribbon cable connected between the two is a pretty daunting task. Wait, did it just stop recording? Oh God.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
There. Okay, ribbon cable's back in. Now I just want to put the battery in quick so I can test and make sure that all the buttons are working. This isn't something I recommend doing, it's just something that I'm going to do. Alright, all the buttons are working, that's good. Well, all the ones I'd expect not to are working. That's very good, that's very, very good. And yeah, it's time to screw in the back piece. So now, I am noticing there's a small discrepancy between the shell and the actual controller. It's a bit different in sizing, so you see I'll need to like squeeze it to actually get the grips on. That shouldn't be much of an issue. Actually, the grips still fit like a glove, so it's not that big of a deal. So I'm going to put the battery in and the back cover on. Now it's time for the grips. And then at that point, we'll be finally done with this cursed project. I will never open this controller again. But there it is. Sticks turned out well. Everything feels alright. And home button still wakes up the switch. So everything's still working correctly. That's good. Alright. So now let's just test, make sure all the buttons work. So yeah, I think next step is testing to make sure that Amiibo will scan through this, but I mean, that's about it so far. As you can see, the shell is a little small for an actual controller, but it doesn't disrupt the feel. It has this nice chalky texture to it that gives it a really nice grip. Like, it's hard to, it's actually kind of hard to like try to drop. No, you can't tell, but this side is blue. Like the Animal Crossing Switch. I'll put the colors of the Joy-Cons up on the screen. Without lighting, because my lights right now, as you can tell by the back of my hand, are set to like cyan color, so that messes with the color of the sticks and stuff. But yeah, so you have white on green and blue on mint green. And yeah, so let's just check and make sure that an Amiibo will scan. Moment of truth. It works. Perfect. Also, I already did this before I modified the controller, so I'm not going to show you how, but there is a program on the PC called Joy-Con Tools, which allows you to change the color that the Switch sees your controller as. So right now the Switch actually sees the controller as mine. I think that's really cool. Like to say, like the colors match up between the two. I think that's awesome. I'm really glad that you can do that. I'll put a link for that tool down in the description, as well as links for the shell, buttons, sticks, and probably also the tool. This tool that I used. Comes in a set with a bunch of other stuff for modding Nintendos, like tri-wings, security bits, and whatever these middle ones are. As well as, you know, a couple pry tools for getting things apart. And obviously the screwdriver. Tip's interchangeable, as you saw whenever I was first starting the video. I took the tip out to show you guys. I will not put a link for the tweezers in the bottom, but if you want to look for them. But it looks like the brand name is Trim. Feels good to finally have this project done. And now, well, once I'm done editing the video, I'm going to have a lot of fun with these. Anyways, that's it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye. Hey guys, just one little quick thing here at the end of the video before I start editing. I did actually manage to get this little seam here to look normal. If you remember in the video, it was kind of sticking out and it was hanging really far down off the controller. Just kind of had to push it into place a little bit and it just clicked right in. So it looks normal now and it works perfectly.